you need something new to listen, out of all the other shit, Bass Tapes has what you need, and it goes like this. Every other Friday morning, you get a little treat, something not too long and feels more complete. Bass Tapes, Bass Tapes, Bass Tapes. Please listen to our Bass Tapes.
I got a black screen recording right now.
Me
just for you.
too. I got a big black screen just sitting here recording.
Hell yeah.
All right, hold on. I got a burp. I feel a burp coming. Don't want to.
Oh. All right, we got here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bass Tapes episode 2. And today I am joined with my esteemed guest, a friend of mine, a funny fucking guy, the meme lord, the meme hustle guy himself, Ubaru. Ubaru, thank you for coming on.
Dude, thank you for inviting me. It's funny to see you guys making new stuff, but it's also like super sick that I get the pleasure of being on this, so thank you.
No, absolutely. It's just that, you know, I still love the podcast, but we've just been doing the podcast for so long, and I always wanted to do more. I've always wanted to put out more content, whether it be like live streaming, short videos, more podcast content. And it wasn't until like Nine Rain came on the podcast and like we had like a serious conversation about like Based After Dark, where we wanted to go, where it's headed, what it's looking at right now. And while we were having like this somewhat candid private conversation, I just told everyone to start recording, to hit record, and like it became a Patreon episode. And now in practice, this is what has come from that, is the new project that is Bass Tapes, the more personal, intimate podcasting experience with the RuneScape community, Twitch community, Twitter community, whatever you want to call it. I plan on having a plethora of guests on the show. And so far, the pilot, episode 1, and currently right now episode 2 has just been like kind of hosted by me with another person. And the idea is, in the future, once we do get this rolling, a lot of people are away right now, we'll have a plethora of episodes just coming out with different people, different one-on-ones, maybe one-on-one on ones, 3 people, maybe 2-on-1s, maybe like we'll get an IRL Eiffel Tower out of the Bass
like
Tapes.
Visually representing an Eiffel Tower.
Yes,
being
dude.
recorded.
Dude, whenever we do the first 3-man Bass Tapes, it's going to be the Eiffel Tower episode for sure. That's
so funny.
What it needs to be named. But anyways, Ubaru, we're losing a lot of people on Twitter, man, or as X is, depending on which boot you lick. Yeah, which boot you lick.
Yeah.
But and I just wanted to talk about, you use Twitter a lot, and I've seen you go viral more than any of like my other constituents that use Twitter. And I just wanted to ask you, what is it like to be the meme overlord, to be the meme hustler? Where is it just like, do you just post anything, or is it like carefully crafted a lot of the times?
I think you definitely need to know your audience. Like, the way I see it is like, I make tweets as if like, because I stream. If anybody doesn't know who I am, I stream like RuneScape. I make music. I just make like funny, like kind of like slapstick, like meme stuff that I like to post online. So if I see something that's like trending, usually what I'll try and do is like methodology I've been using lately is you'll use something that's already trending and try and repurpose it into like the community that you're in. So we're all in the old school RuneScape community. A really easy way to like try and it's not even like you're like farming like likes or like interaction, but you obviously want your tweets to do well if you're trying to like make something, right? So just like a method I've used is like, I'll take a trending tweet and try and make it like RuneScapified, or I try to post like more original content, and it doesn't really come out the best because a lot of people who do follow from this community are very particular about the content they consume and that they like. And so more ways that it's not even really about personality based stuff sometimes, unless you're like a super big streamer, then obviously like your personality is going to carry you. But when it comes to Twitter, I just think like whatever you think is funny, I think you should send it. Like somebody who I do my podcast with, Bean Dip, Coconut Bean Dip on Twitter, it's like 50-50. You either like him or hate him because he's going to make a super funny tweet. Like he had this idea of quote tweeting you guys recently where everybody is out in Britain right now at like a dinner, and he's like, Ubaru, throw me in this right now. I need to like get a quote tweet or something. So then I created him as like a 4 foot tall child or whatever, like 4 foot tall like man, and then I like superimposed his face on it, and then you guys were going back and forth like making like meme stuff.
Yeah,
just adding stuff.
I put a dead body in the background. Like I saw that and it was like, all right, well now I have to quote tweet this and add something, and I'm like, what would be funny to add? And I thought about like making T-Papa bald, like just completely bald and barefaced, and I was like, well, that's been done before. I did that on like some Tennessee pictures back in the day, and I was like, I'm just gonna put a dead fucking body near the entrance. And it was received well, no comments and like 30 something likes.
Yeah,
so, for me that's
good.
a banger. Do you think that your Twitter account is just an extension of one's humor? Because I
think it can be. I think it should be though, because I feel like a lot of people who are in the scene of like RuneScape really only post like achievement stuff, which is totally fine. Like you should be posting like achievements or like going live tweets or stuff like that. But I just feel like a lot of people don't use that opportunity to like highlight creativeness, and I feel like I've tried to take Twitter to be a little bit more creative with ideas and stuff for sure.
Well, as T Papa put it, there are only 2 users that use Twitter are the racists and the snowflakes. So his words, not mine. Even though I think it's pretty fucking accurate if you want to like just generalize, Twitter as a whole, especially now that it's
at
just
times.
Andrew Callahan was recently in an interview where they asked about his Twitter opinion, and I really think he nailed it on the head with just this simple statement that Elon's turned it into this rage bait echo chamber that is just used to farm impressions because you can get paid off impressions now, and it doesn't matter what the impression is, and it's been like that for forever, and people just don't realize it, especially like on other websites, like on YouTube. If you dislike the YouTube video, you're engaging with it, you're giving it an impression, and the algorithm doesn't care. It just wants an impression. It wants you to comment mean comments and wants you to comment rage comments. And Elon's just spun that on the Twitter algorithm to an 11, I think, and I really feel like it makes it the most disingenuous place now to make content. Like if you're like that Jake Lucky guy, or like all those those quote tweet accounts or the repost accounts or the quote unquote news. I'm getting my news from a fucking hot dog parody account. What the fuck's going on? Why is this guy tweeting about what's happening? Right?
Hell yeah.
And it's so hard to like branch outside your niche little community, I feel like, because you have to appease them to get interaction out of it to make it outside of your little inner circle, right?
Totally.
And if, say, like you said, you try to post original stuff sometimes and it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot lesser, but I think you should still post what you find is funny, even if it's not related. Like today, I posted like right now, right before I was talking to you, I posted a picture of Robert Downey Jr. making like a gymnast somersault, like holding the back of his legs, staring into the camera at it. And it's literally just how it feels when your girl pays for your meal. You know what I mean? It's like, it's something that like everybody can relate to, but it's not RuneScape related.
Yes, so, relatability. I feel like it's such a strong tone now for anything. Totally. I mean, God, I remember when we first started doing shorts, I'd have to like comb the podcast to find stuff that was relatable. You couldn't use an inside story unless it was like something fucking crazy, right? That would pique someone's interest when they would watch it. But like something relatable, something that everyone knows, that had the highest chance of like being liked, being shared, being commented on, whatever. And, as a content creator, you need that to an extent.
For sure.
Back to what you were saying, that you just want to post what's funny. Do you feel like in today's climate that it's hard sometimes to post things that are funny that other people might misconstrue as like bigotry or intolerance or hatred, or do you think like someone who wants to be funny has to toe that line appropriately and toe that line right to get away with it as a joke?
I think you definitely need to toe a line depending on what kind of community you're in. If you're like in like the phase community, like those guys are literally just like saying whatever they want to say, whatever comes out of their mouth, and pretty much I don't really see that much of a like backlash. Whereas like if you're in the RuneScape community where it's like super niche, super like very critical of what people say, like if you make one mistake, like you're like basically Hitler forever and like nobody forgets anything because it's so small comparatively.
Yep.
Like you do need to kind of tread lightly in the RuneScape community. And I know there's this division between like people who are on X and on Blue Sky now because people started to migrate over. And I think a lot of the people who were more conscientious of what was being posted and like how X is marketed have moved over. And I think a lot of the people who like shit post and make memes and like just try to have a good time stayed on X. And obviously there's people like in between where they're like, you know, kind of spewing things that a lot of people generally don't like. Those people still exist, but it's like at the same time, you could just like mute people you don't want to see, you know. I think people just kind of, I think a lot of people overreact and try to get like interaction from it as well. It's kind of hard to toe the line sometimes, but me personally, I just want to do funny stuff that I think is funny, but obviously I do hold back because, you know, you can't like go full on crazy Bean Dip mode because I mean, Bean Dip talks about it all the time where he says like, oh man, does everybody hate me now? It's like, probably you just said like, you know, like whatever he just said for the current day.
Yeah.
It just like throws people through a loop, you know, because he just says what comes to his mind.
Yeah, and even though I've never talked to Bean Dip. I hope that changes one day. Hopefully, I can come on your guys' podcast soon or sometime in the near future. Because I definitely
we want to have you on.
I want to. Well, I want to talk to Bean Dip. I really want a deep dive. Can I please be like a therapist? Can I be the therapist from The Sopranos when I come on? I'll buy the I'll buy the pantsuit. I'll put the wig on. I'll do the makeup. I'll fucking do it.
I think he legitimately would love that because low key, I think Bean Dip loves a little bit of attention on him, but also at the same time, like he would totally love to just farm it for a bit, like whatever it is. Like he's totally into the idea of just like trolling around and having fun. And I think that's why he gets mistaken a lot of the time for like being like some critical person because people just take whatever he says at face value. And I think he has a good point a lot of the time. I don't want to speak for him, but a lot of the time he says, you know, like I'm making jokes online and people don't get it, but they only see him typing like spoken word into Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? Like that nobody can actually see anything tangible from it. They just think he's spewing hate or whatever. Like I think people see him as like the Kanye of Twitter because he just says random shit or like RuneScape Twitter, you know? So it's like,
it's the nuance of it, isn't it? And
right.
Nuance on Twitter doesn't go anywhere. People don't care about nuance. People don't care about context. People don't care about like where you're coming from. They just care about what the words on the screen they see are, right? And
totally.
I feel like a mutual acquaintance of ours, a dear friend of ours, has this problem. Nine Rain.
Ah, yes.
Get some courage, everyone. You know, have the courage to tweet like Nine Rain, because goddamn, people hate when he fucking tweets, bro.
I mean, it's clear that he's like trying to make a division, which like if you feel that strongly about what you're saying, go ahead and do it. But it's going to like alienate a community you've built if you've been like passive your whole time building your community, you know? So if you come out like righteous and like speaking your feelings, I feel like it is an easy opportunity where that could happen. But
no, yeah, I just feel like Twitter is just not the place to preach or pander, especially like to a medicated audience who believes in, you know, going to therapy, taking medication,
right, true,
and because that's ultimately what Nine Rain's message was at the end of the day. For the context out there, Nine Rain put out a message being like, you don't need to be depressed. You just need to get up and change your life. And you don't, I don't know. I'd have to pull up the tweet, but that's basically what his message was. And a lot of the RuneScape community is like, no, some of us can't. We have to take these or we can't function right. We have a chemical imbalance. And there's been other tweets that Nine Rain's done that I don't think Nine Rain's trying to cause division. I think Nine Rain's is trying to have an open dialogue, but he should know that's stupid as shit because no one on Twitter wants to have an open dialogue. They just want to dunk on you in the replies. They just want to dunk on you in the quote tweet. That's all people care about at the end of the day, is getting more likes from what they said based on what you said. And that is not good faith argument. That is not a place to have a good faith argument at all.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I think you can have peaceful conversations with people, but I think, yeah, honestly, I forgot that tweet, that was what the original problem was that he's talking about medication. I was thinking about when he was talking about something else, I think. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, I feel when you feel that strongly, like, it's only just going to incite anger from people. And then, I don't know, in terms of like the longevity of like what you want to do for content creation, like I feel like that creates a new path that you like can't go back on, because like I said before, people just don't forget the things that you do, especially in this space. Yeah. So people are very opinionated, so it's very hard.
Yeah, well, I don't think Nine Rain's audience is going to go anywhere. I don't think he alienated. I think anyone who knows Nine Rain is a fan of this content and knows his character saw what he was tweeting and was just like, bro, we see where you're coming from. We know you're not trying to be a dick. We know you're not being hateful, but why are you tweeting this? And then obviously people that aren't fans of him or don't know who he is, they see this big content creator tweeting and they think what he's doing is harmful. So they just react accordingly to from their perspective, right? And Twitter is an open dialogue for anyone. The moment you tweet anything, anyone can find it and reply to it unless you have like them blocked or whatever, right? So there's no excuse at the end of the day for anyone replying to your tweet anyway, because you don't decide at the end of the day how people react to your tweet, right? You just send out the tweet and you can hope that maybe someone reacts to it a certain way that like you're expecting to, but at the end of the day, you could just piss off half of your community and and not even try to. It's crazy.
It's really easy, especially for like something you have good intentions for, to be like misinterpreted. And like things can really blow out of proportion really fast. So yeah, it's something you have to be mindful of, especially when you're, saying something very new or like nuanced,
Yeah, well, the moment you just, like I said earlier, Twitter is just not the place for that. Hopefully, when everyone's back from the UK, Tasty's back from the Philippines, there's supposed to be a Tasty Nine Rains base tapes where they go in depth about like the way Nine Rain's been tweeting and like what he's been trying to accomplish. Prisoner Joe said that on the podcast that we talked about it as well, that he should, if he really believes in this shit strong enough, he should just create a separate channel where he talks. And I think that's a brilliant fucking idea for someone like Nine Rain to do. Have like your RuneScape content going, and then like have a separate side, like a therapy with Nine Rain. That could be the fucking podcast title. I would watch it.
Yeah,
I would watch Therapy with Nine Rain every week just to see what he says, because I think Nine Rain's a somewhat interesting fellow. But that's just
for sure. I think it's really smart when you want to make different content, but you're kind of like scared if you built a platform. Like a lot of people are afraid to create different channels and like different branding for stuff. But I think it's way smarter because if anything, like I was saying before, like because he feels so strongly about certain topics, like if you have like a bigger community, like I feel like it could only hurt you if you're like saying something controversial, right? So I think it's like really smart, because when I came back, when my Twitter was initially banned, like I was like, shit, like I gotta kind of like reinvent what I'm doing, because now I gotta like start over. The thing I was doing like isn't gonna work out anymore, because like I like to make memes online, and like now I feel like a big platform of mine is gone. So then I was like, okay, like maybe I'll do like more talking to camera style videos, and like that's when I made my new channel, where it's kind of just like I post whatever and just see what works and test stuff out. And like I think in his case that would be like an awesome opportunity to try something new if he still wants to create content for RuneScape, right? Like it only makes sense to do something like that. So I definitely agree.
Well, I feel like Nine Rain's biggest problem is just he's the sole proprietor of his content. He does all of it and edits all of it, and dude, it's not easy, especially when you're doing his type of videos where he's trying to do 30 minutes to an hour long like ballad of like his RuneScape journey, right? It's
Yes.
A lot of time and effort has to go into that, and when you're doing it by yourself, it's so easy to get burned out, especially like if you have other things going on in your life as well that you have to focus on.
Totally.
It's not an easy endeavor. But back to being banned on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck's going on there with that? Why are people getting banned for the dumbest shit I've ever seen? Especially since, I thought when Elon bought Twitter, I thought it was going to be this platform of freedom of speech that he's created, but it seems like he's just created a haven that you can say the N-word and not get demonetized or something. I don't know. But God forbid you post a picture that's not you and you don't specifically clarify that it's not you. You're going to get banned for impersonation.
Yeah, I think with that, like, obviously there's a bit more nuance behind the story of like how Prison Joe got banned, because I think it got taken out of context where like he used the image that like obviously wasn't him, but it belonged to somebody in the community and they felt strongly about it. So I imagined like, there was a numerous amount of people that like felt strongly about it, and then I feel like as soon as you report somebody now on Twitter, like you just immediately get flagged, because what happened with me was I paid for Twitter Blue because I was in a bingo for a RuneScape event in my homie's clan when I was still in it, and like it was like maybe like 5-10 hours of editing, so like it was like just over the threshold. It was like 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And like the threshold for a video on Twitter, if you don't pay for it, is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So it was like 30 seconds over. And I literally only bought it once for that like post. And then I just like immediately unsubscribed because I didn't care because I already made it. So I was like, I'm not cutting it down,
Yeah.
Like I feel like it would ruin the integrity of the like creativeness of the video. So, so I changed my photo and I did a whole thing where I like basically Bean Dip did this too before, where he's like swapped his name, so I swapped my name as well, and I like technically impersonated somebody, but it was like I'm posting fit pics of like Bodhi and Rigondeaux and Foe and like EVscape, and like it was just a humorous thing of posting like insane outfits that people like are wearing from the past because they're just like humorous, and then boom, you just get instantly like soft locked, and then like your account's still up but it's not, and then you just get banned the next day. And I'm pretty sure it's the same thing what happened to Prison Joe. Like I think people realized like, hey, that's not you. And then they were like, yeah, let's report him, and then and then his account got like I think it's indefinitely suspended like how mine was, so you just need to send a report in. But it took like a month and a half, and then they finally got back to me and said delete the content, and it's fine. So thankfully, I got mine back, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get his back because it's even like lesser of an extent than mine, right?
No,
so,
yeah, and it's just crazy that, because did yours say that it was reviewed by a human?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it did.
And his said that his was reviewed by a human, and like he got banned, I feel like within 24 hours of him even posting that.
Yeah.
And there's no fucking way a human saw that, or yours probably.
No, I don't think a human actually did. And what's even crazier is we've known people that are like our friends in the community of like literal random schizo accounts doxing our friends, and those accounts, when you report them, don't get banned for like 7 days to like 2 weeks. Like it's literally like a week or two of just straight up people like having their information like doxed, and like those guys don't get banned. But then if you post a picture of a guy who kind of looks like you, boom, you're flagged for impersonation and you get permed. Like the severity of the offenses on Twitter now are insane, which definitely makes me more conscientious of what I post now as well. It's kind of like I can't make like specific things. And also, I've noticed I have friends that make like one tweet that has a word that's not so great. Like if you mention like a drug or anything where it's not like properly like asterisked out or whatever, your account basically gets shadow banned. So
really,
your posts will only be seen to people who follow you. And so it's like you'll lose probably like a fourth of how many people could actually view your posts, which is really bad if you're trying to like, make something and like get it seen by people. So you have to be careful of what you're also saying, because if you say crazy shit, like you'll basically just get shadow banned if you don't pay attention to it.
That's fucking insane. And I'm sure like this isn't in the rules anywhere, and if it is, it's probably so fucking vague you can't even interpret it as that. it really blows my mind that like when Twitter was being like sold to Elon and he's just he's spewing the garbage that he fucking spews. And like this is like the end result of what we get. It's just like a shittier product of like what I feel is just reversed. Instead of it like being left leaning Twitter, it's now just like super degen incel right leaning Twitter. And
Yeah.
OnlyFans girls and for whatever reason Mexican cartel videos.
Bro, maybe that's your feed. I don't know. I don't think that's mine.
Dude,
but...
I don't interact with it. I don't interact with nothing.
Hey, when you scroll through and you sit on it for 2 seconds longer than you were supposed to, sometimes it just means that that's going to be boosted in your
yes, it's going to be a couple seconds longer because I'm like, why does this guy have a chainsaw? And then I see where the chainsaw is going and I'm like, no, like it's just a reaction. And does that count as an impression? Does that motherfucker get paid for my 2 seconds of like trying to see what video this is? It's so stupid, bro. Like
it's crazy like what it's devolved into, but at the same time, like I don't know, like I wish Twitter went back to before Elon bought it because then there wouldn't be so many people. Like when you go on like a like I don't know, like there'll be like a thread of like great movies to watch, and then it'll just be like every girl being like be like an OnlyFans girl in the comment, like, ooh, I could watch a movie better than you can, like trying to like entice you to click on her profile and then click on her link. Like, yeah, it's just like there's just so many like layers to stuff that like how like people just want to be seen to make money now, and that's what like all the top people do. But like at the same time, like when you look at like the phase guys, like I'll mention them again, like they are basically being catapulted to like the higher standards on Twitch because everything they post is going viral. So like all those accounts that care about getting views are going to post them because they're like popping. So it's like a synchronous relationship where the people are getting what they want by posting them. They're making money, and the guys are getting more popular. So it makes it even harder for the people who are at the bottom of the category to like break through. You really have to be creative now.
It creates this positive feedback loop.
Right.
With the top people of like different websites or different social media or content creators. And yeah, they just feed into each other. And then meanwhile, I think you have something similar happening at the lower levels of communities as well. And sometimes, you know, maybe in that lower cycle, you get thrown in to the upper cycle sometimes, but it's very, very few and far in between. I also feel like with the advertising and the way things work nowadays, I feel like everyone's so fucking dishonest with each other. Did you hear about the controversy that YouTube has been going through lately with the sleep videos?
Like sleep like ASMR videos or sleep like what do you mean?
Okay, so layman's term, quick rundown. The YouTube algorithm knows its users so well that it can figure out when, because a lot of people use YouTube to go to bed, right? They either have it on their TV or on their phone. And the algorithm, the phone, the app, YouTube itself is so good at knowing when you fall asleep that it starts recommending you longer videos. Fucking 3-hour-long videos, 4-hour-long videos, 6-hour-long videos. I woke up one time in the middle of the night and I had a 10-hour video for a channel I've never even watched before. And then a couple of days later, I see a video where this guy starts exposing what the algorithm's been doing. And basically what YouTube is doing is just lying to advertisers. They're playing these long videos to people who are sleeping, and these fucking people are making bank off these videos. I mean, God, imagine if you had a 10-hour video with at least a 30% watch time on it with 100,000 views. That's money. That is some money coming towards your way and YouTube's way. And I feel like it's so disingenuous, and I feel like the same thing is happening over at Twitter with the rage bait impressions. I feel like the advertisers are being lied to, and I don't think it's sustainable. And that kind of fucks what we do, because if this shit isn't sustainable, we're on the lower ends. What happens when they figure it out or the bubble pops and then like everyone gets a pay cut? Like we're going to be the first ones to see it.
Yeah. No, it's kind of crazy to think about like from a top-down perspective, because I've definitely had the same experience with YouTube now that you mention it, because there'll be videos that are in completely different languages with very small views because they're, from what I know, is that YouTube's algorithm is like trying to push you like newer content from newer creators if you're like lower to get you over the threshold to like basically get AdSense on your account, which I think is like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours or something like that. So like when you hit that criteria, you can basically become a like YouTube partner, which allows you to make money. So like they promote those videos, right? But it also, I feel like on the back end of Twitter, like I don't feel like there's any initiative for like somebody who's small to get that kind of like push through. And like the only way to do that would be to like actually be subscribing to Twitter, because they're like, you can promote this tweet if you want to spend money. And then Twitter has now become Facebook ads for like when you're trying to sell a product or clothes or, you know, like whatever. It's just kind of crazy that it's kind of and like turned into this like weird space. So yeah, I don't know what it's going to be like when the bubble pops. Like I have no idea what's going to happen. It's kind of crazy.
Same thing with TikTok. You know, TikTok for the longest time was just people just cosplaying and dancing and doing cringe like lip syncing scenes. And now it's a full blown $1 billion industry and market for fucking Temu shit. And you have middle-aged people on there trying to fucking sham you crypto coins and meme coins, and you have old ladies trying to sell you products on there, and it's like what the fuck happened? What is this? Where everything's gonna go? This is so fucking depressing. What?
Yeah, you definitely need to like. I feel like when it gets to that level of like what, like I personally just am never on TikTok. Thankfully, like of course you have to kind of spend time on one of them if you ever have. Like some people just only watch shorts, some people watch TikTok or Reels or whatever. Like you're going to use short form content in some period in your life, just because it's like everywhere. Like every app is going to have it because they realized that created content that you will seek through your following does not supersede the For You page that the people who design the algorithms, like you're more likely to discover something new because like your short-term memory or whatever it is, your attention span, like you just crave other things that are not exactly what you're seeing. So I guess they devised that we're going to like basically not like have a following eventually. So it's crazy to see, and it's definitely scary for content creators, but at the same time, you gotta like, I feel like you have to like play into it, right? Like you have to like game the system at that point.
No, you have to. Unfortunately, it's the Mr. Beast effect. You have to. If there are advantages in the market, you have to use them because other people will. Unfortunately, you have to metagame, as league players call it. And metagame.
Yeah, that's a self-report. This guy plays League.
I have 14 banned accounts, sir. It's not good.
Oh, that's not good.
Not good. I've been playing since sophomore year of high school. Okay, and the majority of those accounts were banned from sophomore to sophomore year of college. So I'm reformed. I have my reformed shaker cup from Tyler One that I used as a gravity bong for 8 years.
Nice.
So.
Hell yeah.
And so it's scary, right? And it's funny you mentioned that I guess they don't want us to have a following, because I feel like this is where their AI bullshit comes in. Because, you know, like Meta wants to start making AI profiles, right?
Oh, really?
Yes, they want to start introducing Instagram profiles, Facebook profiles that are completely AI.
That's crazy.
It'll be like an AI family or an AI sports person or like it. And bro, the farm will be endless. The farm will be endless. All you have to do is, because here's the thing, man. When you upload to these websites, you're giving them permission to use the footage however they want. And if you don't think they're running that shit into a large language model right now, every day on repeat with all the money that they have on reserve, you are naive. They are. They are going to start copying us. They are going to start making us AI versions of us and releasing them into the market. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to make AI fans that comment on those videos. And sooner or later, you're going to have AI comment on your videos and share your videos. And you're going to get a repost from the most popular AI account on Meta or on Instagram or on Twitter or TikTok, whatever it is. And they're going to give you an option to be like, hey, why would you want to boost your algorithm when you can just pay for fans? It's the same thing. You don't.
Yeah, I also feel like there's been like a lesser version of that, right? Where like you could obviously just buy bots or like whatever, like, you know, view bot your live stream or whatever. And like even at that point, view bots and like the chatters that are in your chat have actually gotten so much like improved language models that they actually look real. If like your chat gets studied by all these like ChatGPT, whatever they use, whatever language models they use, like it's actually super easy for something like that to be used now. And like even on TikTok, like I see so many people who just do not look like humans at all. Like completely, like fully what you're saying is already happening on TikTok right now. Like I was just scrolling and like one of my friends who posts content for content creation, and it's just like, I love your channel, I can't wait to see you when you're live next. And then like you go to like that account and it's just like following like thousands of people, and it's like, okay, so it's already in effect. You know, it's crazy.
They're already implementing it in ways that like bypass like the shit that we agree to, because it doesn't matter. It's their company, it's their IP. They're going to do things, they're going to update things, they're going to do things how they want. There's so many things that are done on the back end of these websites that the users and the content creators will never know about. So, of course, it only makes sense that like they're using it and they plan on putting it in their revenue stream. It only makes sense, and that's when I feel like things are gonna get really fucky, really scary. I talked about it with Asterix, how I saw a video the other day. It looked like a video of Steph Curry at like a press conference talking about like the Luka Doncic trade to the Lakers.
Okay.
And it was an AI video, but it's the closest fucking thing I've seen to real life. And I had to go to the comments to make sure it was like AI. And like all the comments were saying the same thing, saying like this is the closest one that's gotten me. And like I can like, for the longest time, man, like I've prided myself on being like technology literate, being able to spot AI, being able to spot Photoshop pictures, shit like that. And like it's finally getting to the point where even to my keen eye that like I think I have, it's getting difficult. And it's only going to get more difficult. And it's not like, I want to believe that like we'll use it for creativity and for cool shit, but like in the back of my mind is like, all right, when is the government gonna start really fucking with us, dude? When are they really? When are corporations really gonna start fucking with us? When is it really gonna be like a player one type situation? Because it's looking like that's the way it's going.
Yeah, it just looks scary. I try not to overthink about it because I feel like if anything like that's going to happen on a grand scale, we're going to have no control. It's like how would you like circumnavigate that? Like you just like never use social media again. Like you could do that, but at the same point, like it's going to affect society.
My uncle Ted wrote a book about it. To be honest, he wrote a thorough book with instructions.
Yeah, your uncle Ted could. The goat.
Well, I'm gonna have to bleep. I'm gonna have to bleep the last name. God damn it! That's the ticker. That's what gets flagged. You can't say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for the podcast.
Holy shit! Prison Joe is here for Base Tapes, episode 2. What's up, man?
Wow. What's up,
You guys
buddy?
filming right now?
Yeah, we're recording Base Tapes. I'm recording you right now.
I'm taking a shit.
How are you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, I'm literally taking a shit right now.
Dude, I hope that British shit over there is awesome, man. Do you have
There's
that,
a few $100 of food exiting my asshole right now.
Hell yeah.
Has Bodhi been...
So we rode backwards. We rode backwards, like, you know, like in the back seat, there's like seats facing backwards.
Okay.
And Meaning Noble sat in the back for an hour, and we got almost car sick. It was terrible.
Oh, man.
He had to puke. I held it together. I didn't have to puke, but I felt like shit when I got out.
Damn.
Have you been mugged yet?
Oh.
Huh? Have you been mugged? Has anyone...
Nah, bro. The British xenotype, bro, they're fucking built like frail as fuck. They ain't fucking with me. Let's be real.
When the mandem comes on the street with a knife, what do you do?
They're gonna need at least 3 or 4 to get my ass. You know, they need a group. You know.
Hell yeah.
But
well, Prison Joe, you just barged in while me and Uber are talking about AI taking over our futures. What do you have to say about the situation?
I'm out to say, man, if you're out there listening, just keep dreaming, man. Just keep pushing. It'll happen.
Hell yeah.
I'll see you guys.
See you, man.
All right, enjoy your shit, man.
Well then.
All right, well,
that
was a
treat.
graceful exit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the special guest appearance by Prison Joe inside of Britain right now.
Dude, it's like
waiting for RuneFest.
What time is it over there? It's fucking.
Is it, 5 hours ahead?
It's about 1 a.m. over there for him. So.
Okay.
Has RuneFest even started? I don't even think it started yet, has it? It's this weekend, right?
No, I think a bunch of people were like congregating to like meet up and hang out because, to be honest, like the whole thing with RuneFest for me is like, okay, so you want like people from the US to come there for a 2-day event. Like if you're not like setting up plans to go do like a Euro trip or whatever, like you're gonna basically waste $1,000 to go for a weekend. Like you might as well go to Vegas. You know what I mean?
He's back.
One more before I go. Sorry. I put in After Dark, bro. I rep the base. I got the model work for you, bro. I got you. See, that's what I rocked tonight.
Dude, yeah, I saw that. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, at the Mishy, bro. I got you. After scaring people taking my hat off last night, I had to put on the base gear tonight. They wouldn't let me go out without the hat on.
Did you like the picture? Did you like the?
That was funny. Yeah, that was good. Did you like my shirt? I literally bought that shirt the day of. The shirt was fucking gas.
No, that was a sick shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. It hurt my bank account, but it was worth it, bro. Also, it's my birthday this weekend, so I was like, fuck it.
Bought myself nice, bro.
Dude, happy early birthday, man.
Dude, thank you, man. Anyway, yeah, throw that up. Buy a base polo and a base hat, or fuck you. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
See you, man.
Bye-bye. I didn't even know you guys had base polos.
Yeah, dude, I made those.
Hell yeah.
It has the big B on the front, and then on the sleeve, if you look at that, you see that little white indentation on his bicep.
Oh yeah.
It says After Dark right there.
Well, that's fire.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You guys should buy those for your golfing adventures.
No,
you can flex on.
We have them in black and in white. So if you don't want to be outside in a black t-shirt, I know like some people are in hot environments, and typically unless you're goth, right, you don't wear all black. So we got the white. So get a white one to take out there, and you'll look official, and people will be like, "What's that B stand for?" And you'll be like, "It stands for based," and then they'll cringe. But that's just how it works.
And then they cringe. Yeah.
Dude, I feel like base has just been so. When they made base team, it was a good decision then, because I don't think it was like as oversaturated. But now I feel like it's cringe. Do you think the term based is cringe now? I feel like it's been hijacked by the incel community.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the idea of what like something could be as like base is like still true. I think it just depends on how involved you are online. Like, I don't know, I'll call some shit based, but then you remind me that it's like maybe it's cringe to call shit based. So I don't know. Like maybe I'm just not tapped in like that, but I'd like to think I am. Well, so I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad as a brand name. I think it's good.
No, if in terms of like the podcast title and base team as in general, I think it's fine. But yeah, it's just I would never in a million years say I'm out like with my IRL friends, and like even my IRL friends are all connected on the internet. We're all the same. We all get on Discord. Yeah, we all love the meme culture. If I went that's based out with them, they would kill me with hammers. They would.
You're what? What are you?
They'd be like, say that again, you fucking cringe lord. What the fuck are you talking about? You're based.
Cringer.
Well, I feel like we've had a good discussion about the Twitter antics, the algorithms, the AI that will eventually come and consume us all until we merge our brain with it. But another thing I wanted to propose to you, Ubaru, is RFK, our esteemed health advisor now, has been talking about these wellness camps for people who are medicated. Because SSRIs are, very addictive and bad for you.
Okay.
And I want to propose a hypothetical that you and me are at these camps, and we have to devise a way to escape. All right, and I'm gonna
Okay.
set up the scenario. It's like it's we got a map of the grounds, and where like the guards of like keep their stash of weapons, and you got like a circle around you, and you're drawing on the map. And I snuck like a pack of cigarettes from a guard. I'm sitting there smoking a Marlboro Red
Ooh.
over there in the corner, and like I'm sitting in a chair, and I'm not sitting in the chair normally. I'm sitting it like like backwards, like it's how you normally
Okay.
sit in a chair. I'm sitting like my legs are straddled on the other side, and like I'm leaning over and I'm smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
And you're setting up there like with like trying to find a good pinpoint. What are you saying to the people right now? What are you trying to? What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking we got to figure out a way how to get out of here, but I'm just distracted by you looking so cool smoking that cigarette. You know what I mean?
And I'm just
like I'm a visual learner, so it's like it's hard. You're distracting me, bro. I can't lock in right now.
I'm the main character of this Quentin Tarantino film I'm sending us up in for this dystopian future where we're at an RFK wellness camp.
Yeah, you're Brad Pitt with your shirt off from like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And you're smoking a cigarette in front of me, and I'm like just really nervous, and I'm like, oh my god, he's so hot. What are we gonna do, bro?
I finally,
Fuck.
I ashed a cigarette, half of it's left. I fucking flick it. I flick half the cigarette.
Oh my god.
I flick half.
You guys see that? You guys fucking see him?
And I'm
oh
like,
my god, that shit was so hot.
I'm like, you guys are redundant. What you guys are trying to do here? Because even if we escape, they're gonna try to bring us back. No.
They brought me back in.
What we need to do here and now is start a rebellion from the inside to let all these camps know that we ain't taking none of their shit. And I got the perfect way to do it.
Okay.
We rape the guards.
Okay, well, I don't know if I can agree with that. It started to sound like Fight Club, and then, it started to not sound like
Think
Fight
about
Club.
it.
Real fast.
Killing
It started to
killing
not sound
them.
like Fight Club.
Just killing them or fighting them.
Yeah.
They expect us to do that.
Okay.
But if a bunch of sick fucks rape them and keep them here, that sends a message.
It's like when you say like Twitter has like the right and the left. I feel like all the like guys on the right like recently on Twitter have been like rape Elon is like a tweet and it gets like 6,000 likes and I'm like, all right, that's a little extreme. Like,
wait,
I
really?
don't need to rape Elon. Yeah, like that's what it just said rape Elon. I'm like, all right, bro, that's a little extreme,
Yeah,
it's just like that's pretty bad.
Context for that hypothetical is the other day I was just sitting there laying in bed stoned thinking like being like if I did get like, because I really thought about it, like, cause something they said about putting people in wellness camps. It's like, God, fuck, that's scary to think about. And like,
yeah,
what like realistically, what would I do? And then like, I thought of like the movie Prison Break, right?
Oh, okay.
And
wait, isn't that a TV show?
yeah, TV show. Excuse me, not movie.
Sorry.
Good series, really good series. And
watch it.
I'm like, man, the odds of that are just fucking low. I'm like, but what could you do to like send a message to the higher ups and being like, we got to stop these wellness camps, and being like, I feel like if all the inmates started raping the guards, they'd be like, all right, get these people back on their medication and into society. We can't have this. They're raping all the guards. This is costing us too much taxpayer money. We gotta get the guards therapy.
I mean, I feel like you could send the same message just without the rape. I feel like you could, you could like, if they're giving you other medications you can't take to try and like dull you, why don't you just like slip it in the water stream or something? I don't think got to do that raping,
It's funny because sometimes, those SSRIs, kind of chemically castrate you. It would make sense because they're off the medication. And now they're horny again, and they're angry. They're angry horny. And where are they going to put that bit up aggression?
You know what's crazy? I would have never thought of that like thought pattern until you explained it like that. So it's like now I understand where that derived of how you got there.
Yeah, I thought about this fully. I was like, how do you send a message? Like, what's something so if I thought about it, I was like, if I was the fucking general that got the phone call, and they're like, they're doing what at the wellness camps? And they're like, they're raping the guards, sir. I'd be like, holy shit, what?
Yeah, they would have to. They would have to destroy those immediately if that was. They would have to just go back.
And if these wellness camps are keeping people there to work, like these are fascist. I think it's okay to talk about raping fascists. I think that's acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I think whatever you believe, you believe. I just think doing that to somebody is a little extreme, no matter who it is. But that's just that's just me.
But what about killing them?
I mean, I think that's definitely more humane than I think killing somebody is probably more humane than against their will, sexually abusing them. Probably.
Yeah, probably. All right. Sorry if that was a little bit uncomfortable, but it was just.
No, I mean that's fine. It's just how you feel about it.
No,
it's like
it was just a funny bit.
The way how I saw you, how I saw you was you're just Brad Pitt with your shirt off, smoking a cigarette. It's fine,
it's to bring context. I like to think of like real life situations as fucked up Quentin Tarantino movies a lot.
Okay.
I feel like it's a good place to get inspirations. Dude, lately I've been thinking about like writing a book. And
good.
Yeah, thinking
Go
about
on the typewriter, go R.L. Stein mode and start writing like children's novels about how fucked up AI is. That'd go kind of hard.
Dude,
the computer's coming alive.
I want to be a weeb, bro. I want to write manga, but
okay.
I can't draw, so I'd have to write it.
Yeah. I feel like it takes a special skill to like draw animated stuff. And it's also crazy because when you look back at like animations from like the 40s and 50s, you're like, damn, these motherfuckers drew everything on like a like a heads up what's it called? Projector, like a heads up projector.
Cell
like
animation, as I think of what the proper term of it was called was.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Dude,
just so much effort to make something so fast.
Highly recommend you look up something called Cobbler and the Thief.
Okay.
It was made by this very famous animator, and it was supposed to be like his magnum opus, but before he died. But unfortunately, Aladdin was released before it. And, and they're very similar themed animation movies, and it just killed the production. And he died shortly after. But eventually, it was like the unfinished version of it was released, and dude, it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. This man was known for like his vigorous effort for perfection, and I believe like what the surviving bits of this movie really show that. And like animation to me has always been impressive. I've been recently going back and listening to a podcast called Sleepycast. Have you heard of Sleepy Cabin?
It sounds familiar.
It was a studio that was formed by a bunch of Newgrounds animators.
Oh, cool.
For almost over 10 years ago now. And they've all recently like been disbanded, and some of them have gone on to be like successful Adult Swim show creators, and a couple of them are Let's Play YouTubers that make video games on the side. But dude, I just remember growing up and like just watching Newgrounds animations and being like, God, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. And I was never able to, man. And it's always been like an art form that I will always appreciate is animation, because it is so fucking mind-boggling to me that people can do it.
Yeah, especially in a new age like technology forum like Newgrounds, when you're just like a young adult like figuring out like how the internet even works, it just like blows your mind. And like if you try to do that now, like I feel like it'd be like a lot easier because like the tools are a lot more advanced and stuff. But also like back then, like it just would like wow, like, and then you look back at like like The Thief and the Cobbler and like all the people who like the greats before that. Like it's just like it's a long Popeye, lineage of people
Looney
figuring
Tunes,
out.
Mickey Mouse, all that shit.
Yes.
Speaking of animation, do you have any? What was your favorite animation growing up? Because I know were you a VHS baby or?
Oh, I definitely was, but I was the VHS baby that like watched the same thing like 100 times in a row, like autistically. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't really animation. It was more like live action movies I used to watch. I guess it'd be like Goofy movie probably, but like I was that dumbass fucking loser kid who watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure like 100 times and my family hated me. Like I'd go to like Blockbuster and rent the same fucking thing like every month and they were like, you don't want something new? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to watch Pee-wee be a fucking weirdo. I don't know what it was. It was just, yeah, I think I just liked the like physical humor. That's why I like movies like Good Burger. Like I still think it holds holds up, even though it's like an awful movie. It's like a good bad movie, you know. And I love like classic like 80s 90s movies like that, just because growing up, like that's how I like formed my humor, and like my music taste was all like 80s from like Vice City, just stuff like that. Like you get like so many cool things picking up stuff like that. So I'd say probably like Goofy movie. What other animations that I like? I liked a lot of like SpongeBob, shit like that, like more basic stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely stuff that like forms your humor when you're young.
Yeah, and do you think that like,
yeah.
Especially like early internet humor, like formed like your personality and like what you enjoyed today?
Yeah, like if there's no internet, I'd probably be a completely different person, like everybody else would,
Oh, no,
because you wouldn't get
absolutely.
brain rot.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
we would still. I still feel like it's funny. We talked about like if the internet was, and you know how like the internet got really popular and like cable ruled cable.
Oh,
You had
yeah.
that cable. God, like if only we could afford cable, we could have more channels. We only have the same 5 channels. Imagine instead of like the internet, we had like the cable net, and it was everything was just like catalogs instead of websites that you had to pay to access them.
Yeah, dude, the TV guide.
Yeah.
You get the TV guide mailed to you like every week or whatever it was. And then like if you had a TiVo, you were basically god tier because you could actually record shows. Like if you didn't watch shit back in the day before you could record it, like holy fuck, you were a legend.
Yeah,
Everybody would go over and watch it.
I remember when Dish came out and they had like their own DVR service like in their cable box. Dude, that shit was peak, especially when you were growing up and you had a bedtime and you're like, just DVR the episode that I can't watch and I'll watch it tomorrow. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Now you can just torrent everything.
Yeah. Shout out the .dvd rip .zip.
No, yeah. Shout out, dude. Shout out
80
Pirate
strings
Bay.
of code.
Dude, Pirate Bay still going strong, dude. That blows
I
me
thought they were
away.
shut down.
No, Pirate Bay still exists, man.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy that it stands the test of time because, dude, I remember.
I have a question. I have a question.
Go for it.
Because you're an editor, maybe you shouldn't admit this, but have you taken the test of the Pirate Bay to be able to have access to tools for a much cheaper price?
I was
because as somebody who invests in like Adobe, it's $60 a month, and it's actually insane. But the tools they give you now is like actually kind of worth the money you spend.
No, I will say that back then when I was 13, 14 and had dreams of being a YouTuber and trying to figure out what I needed, the tool, I needed a capture card, I needed a computer, I needed software.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, Christmas is coming up, I can get the capture card. My birthday's after that, I'll get the computer. And then like once I had those two, I was like, how do I get the software? And there was no OBS back in the day. There was no screen recorder built into Windows. You had to pay for shit.
Camtasia,
Fraps, Hypercam.
Yeah, Fraps is crazy.
Hypercam, obviously,
too.
the one we all know. The most associated thing with RuneScape is Hypercam. But I didn't want that because SparkMac didn't have that. Chris Archie didn't have that. Bonesaw didn't have that. They had a perfect screen recording. How did they get that? And then I remember seeing a video where SparkMac releases what he uses to edit, and he gave a review of Camtasia, and he had an affiliate link. And I was like, okay, let's see how much this Camtasia is. And it was like $200. And I was like, oh, how do I get Camtasia Studio for free? And I typed that in on YouTube, and there were a plethora of ways to get shit for free. And then once I figured out that worked, I was like, how do you get Sony Vegas for free? I typed that in, and then I had Sony Vegas. And then before you knew it, I was like, how to download Fruity Loops? Like everyone in their life, the most basic internet quest is downloading Fruity Loops illegally. Everyone who's dabbled in music or any type of production has done it. But to answer your question, yes, I have illegally, quote unquote, downloaded programs and used
past
them.
the statute of limitations now. I think it's unless it's not.
Some of them, a lot of them. Well, here's the thing. Do you know how like that works? You know how they get caught? How you get caught?
No.
So your internet service provider has your IP, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
They don't log or audit your downloads automatically, but there are websites and services that track IPs and download chains and see if they download any illegal torrents. And then they send it in to your IP if there's a matching IP address to your internet service provider. And then you get the letter in the mail. It's like a bounty. So what you have to do is, if you want to torrent safely, is turn off your computer, turn it on, and then the moment you turn it on, turn on your VPN. You have to turn on a VPN, and then like you go into your browser, you go to your torrent website, you download torrents. Make sure that you don't turn off your VPN while you're downloading or seeding, and that's how you don't get caught.
Yeah.
So,
okay, well, everybody has the method now, so if you ever wanted to steal something, there you go.
No, well, we need another golden age of piracy, because these motherfuckers are insane. Well,
this shit too expensive. Fuck it.
No, this shit is too expensive, and it's too easy to get away with.
Yeah.
And sorry, the laws dictate that the path of least resistance always wins. If someone can torrent tens of thousands of dollars worth of software by only paying $15 for a VPN, and they will never be caught, and you expect people not to do it, you're fucking insane.
Yeah.
Did they not know what Napster is? Did they not know what LimeWire was? Like, we've been here before, and literally our government, they've done nothing about it. It's crazy.
It's like, I wonder how much you actually have to steal to get triggered on the like list of being monitored. Like, you probably have to like pirate so many like terabytes of anything before people actually care, because it's like especially with people in like the socioeconomical like space that we're in now, like I feel like you have to be like somebody of like some great stature, else you're just going to get like sued, and then what is it, like $250,000 fine or whatever it is for like piracy if you get caught. So it's like,
if they're gonna go after
like
a guy that makes less than $20,000 a year for that,
no, but that's what I mean. It's like how do you track that at that point? Like, you got to like do so much work to actually catch people who are gonna pay. It's like the people in the IRS. Like, when you work for the IRS, like, oh yeah, this guy owes like $3,000 on back taxes. Like, they're not gonna give a fuck. But if it's like a big fish, like, you know, they gotta like sort it out. So
no, absolutely,
kind of weird.
You gotta go for the big fish first before you. But then like there have been times, especially during the Napster LimeWire era, where they tried that and they successfully, convicted people, like average people, for downloading shit and fined them.
Oh, okay.
They've done it before, but it turned out to be very unfruitful because how is a person going to pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars when they themselves don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars and don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars? It doesn't work.
It's like at that point they're just sending a message, right?
No,
like they're just trying to make an example out of people.
Scare you. Yeah, they're just trying to scare you, because But in reality, the odds of you being picked out of them, I mean, fucking go for it. I mean, pros and cons to every situation, right? Like YOLO. The deal.
Drake said it best.
Well, hey,
do whatever you want, guys. Okay, you have your own domain. You have your own life to look at. Just consider, when Adobe Creative Cloud pops up at $60 a month, consider it. Maybe I should downgrade to Photoshop. Maybe I only need Photoshop, or you could just go and spend $15 and go get your LimeWire on, get your Pirate Bay, whatever you want.
Hey man, when Adobe starts coming for your own IP and saying that the content that you make is theirs because you make it on their software,
oh my god,
it's a consideration.
Yeah. Is that actually what happened?
No, yeah, they were trying to push that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they were trying to push that, like, if you use, like, their products, that, like, technically anything you make in Photoshop or any of their products, that it's theirs legally.
Yeah, that's, wow. We live in a society of capitalism, and that's a prime example of trying to get residuals on literally everybody
and
for everything.
That, I think, is a fine point to end on. Ubaru, thank you so much for coming on episode 2 of Base Tapes.
Dude, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, no, it's very fun. Anyone out there listening, I don't know when this will be coming out, but this will be coming out on the Patreon first. So if you've made it all the way through and you're listening on the Patreon, you're a fucking beast. You're supporting this directly. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.